If I had to do it in 1 year, this is what I would do.
Hello, Luis. I really enjoy your YouTube content. I watch a lot of your videos. So it is my honor to interview you today. Is this your first interview for the Korean audience?
I believe so. You're my first interview in Korea, so I'm very excited.
Wow, I'm very honored. And next time you come in Korea, maybe you can do together it near us.
I would love to.
Okay, before we start the interview, let me introduce you to our audience. Luis, you are an entrepreneur and a New York Times best-selling author. You also have a top 100 iTunes podcast, The School of Greatness, and a YouTube channel with 3 million subscribers. Wow! Could you introduce yourself to our audience, please?
Sure, yeah. I grew up in a small town in Ohio in the United States, and I always had big dreams of being a professional athlete. So I played American football for many years, and eventually I got injured. I broke my wrist playing football, and that put me on a path of figuring out what do I want to do next with my life. My dream, I went for it, it happened, but then it ended soon. And that's what got me in the path of learning entrepreneurship and business. I was living at my sister's house for about 1.5 years. I didn't have any money. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just started learning and finding mentors and teachers and really learning about online business, online marketing. And that got me in the business world. And from there, after a number of years, I sold that company and I just said, what's the thing I really want to be doing the most? And that was interviewing people, learning from great minds, great individuals around the world. And so for the last 10 years, I've been hosting this show called The School of Greatness. I've been writing books like The Greatness Mindset and just having a great time.
Wow, I loved this story. This encouraging me and my audience too. Thank you. Explain that. Do you know, Luis? I living in France 25 years. France normally in Paris. For me, English is not a very normally used language. That's why my English accent is so bad, and then pronunciation is more French way.
How many languages do you speak?
Korean, of course, and Japanese and French. Still learn English. little bit Portuguese.
Wow, it's inspiring.
Thank you. If you don't understand me, tell me. I can repeat the question.
Okay, perfect.
Luis, let's say you go back to the time before you start the YouTube, to when you didn't have any money. Let's say your short-term goal is to accumulate $1 million. What would be the first thing that you do to achieve this goal?
For this question, do I have all the information and skills I have today, or am I going back 10 years ago when I don't have those skills?
Yeah, of course, you don't have this knowledge. The go back 10 years ago.
And I had to make $1 million. If I had to do it in 1 year, this is what I would do. I would find one person to pay me $1 million. And I would tap into my network of billionaires or millionaires. And I would find one person and I'd say, what is the biggest problem or pain that you have in your life? And if I could solve that problem in 1 year for you, would it be worth $1 million for you? So I would find someone with the most amount of money, where $1 million was a lot, but if they have a health problem, if they have a relationship problem, if they have some problem that's really struggling for them, I would try to find a way to get a team together and help them fix that problem. That would be the first thing, because I think a lot of people try to find a lot of customers to sell something to. And if you want to make $1 million, you need, 1,000 people to pay you $1,000, and you have to find a lot of people to pay you. So find less people and have them pay more. But you have to understand people. You have to understand what is their problem, what is their pain, what is their struggle. So if that wouldn't work, if you can't find one person to pay you $1 million, I would find 10 people to pay $100,000. And this is much more likely to happen. So I've run masterminds in the past, and this is something that I've done. People will pay $50,000 to $100,000 over a year to get coaching, to get access to other people to create financial opportunities for themselves, partnerships, affiliates, experiences. So I would create either a one-on-one coaching business or a mastermind business and get the least amount of clients to pay the maximum amount of money. And I would coach them and help them overcome their problems throughout the entire year. So that's how I would do it. I don't know, Kelly, if you've ever been part of a mastermind or if that's something in France or Korea that people do, but it's bigger here in the United States from my understanding. Have you ever done a mastermind or no?
I never did that, but people ask me, Korean people, the entrepreneur ask me to do small group, mastermind group. I never did that, but I saw in France and UK, they have a big group. They do mastermind group. That is very expensive. Right. Luis, you have your own mastermind group?
I don't at the moment, but I have I did before. And it takes a lot of time and energy. So you have to really have that time to be able to serve people in that way. But I enjoy it. I just stopped it a few years ago.
Ah, wow. If you started a new mastermind club, I will join your mastermind club.
Perfect.
Of course.
I'll let you know.
Wow. Thank you. That is very awesome for me. You find one people and you get the solve problem of these rich people.
That's hard. I mean, if someone is watching this and they're starting out and they don't have the resources or the network or the skill set yet, that's going to be hard to do, right? That's going to be very challenging to do, to be able to find someone who has that money, if you don't know anyone, and to solve a problem for them. I'm just saying, if I had to do it in 1 year, that's the process that I would think about first, because it takes time to build something that people want to buy. It took you until you were 40 until you were able to figure out, okay, I had to learn all these things. I had to fail. I had to be $1 million in debt. This didn't work out, until you launched the next thing that became successful. It usually doesn't happen when you're 18, 22, 25, 30. It usually takes time because you have to learn so much. You have to learn so many skills. You have to fail over and over and over again in order to get the information, the skills, the knowledge, the mindset, the courage to keep going and trying new things. And so that's the challenge. I think everyone wants to figure out how to do this when they're 25 or 30 or whatever, but it takes time to take an idea in your mind and say, okay, I have this idea. Let me go build a product. Let me go build a company. Let me go build this software. Everything takes so much longer than you think it will take. If you have an idea for a product, you have to design it. You have to manufacture it. You have to find the right people. If it fails, you have to find a different company to work with. Things take so much time to launch anything. And that's why having a service-based business at start is the fastest way to make at least some money, because you can find someone, see what their problem is, and solve it for them through your talents or through your skill set. Whether you're a designer or a coder or a videographer or whatever it might be, a copywriter, a phone sales closer, all these different skill sets that people might need, you can provide a service for right away. And that's why I think it's valuable, if you're not sure what to launch, if you don't have the time to launch a business to start. I think it's really valuable to find a company that you align with, that you can use your skills, get paid for, continue to learn and develop and build relationships, and have a side hustle. Work on the side if you want to generate extra income. But not everyone has to make more money all the time. If they want to have more of a balanced life, then they can use that time to just have fun and connect with friends and family and work out and stuff. So it just depends on what you want specifically.
I have one other question. What was your coaching that you invested the most amount of money for? About how much money did you invest for learn you from something? If you can share with us. Like I invested money for learn from Tony Robbins. I went to Miami for meeting for 4 days. It was so expensive. Thousands of money I invested.
How much did I invest for like an event or information or coaching? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, get coaching or learn from somebody.
I spent $10,000 for a 2-day event about business and marketing. This was 2 or 3 years ago, maybe. Yeah, it was $10,000 for 2 days for me to sit and learn from someone. There was 50 to 100 people in the room. And so you have to also know that, like, okay, everyone in this room has spent $10,000 for 2 days. And so most of them are successful entrepreneurs. So I was able to connect and build relationships with other people who are successful. And I learned information from the coach. And when you spend that type of money, it's a lot of money for me. Even though I have the money, it's still a lot of money to spend. You pay attention to what you pay for. And so you better believe I'm in there taking notes. We need to take action on this. Let's go back to the business and solve these problems. And so that money, even though it was a lot, was well spent.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
I took action quickly to make sure I made the money back. I've had people pay $50,000 to $100,000 to my mastermind for 1 year to get coaching throughout the entire year. So people are willing, they say it's the best investment ever because they make a lot more money afterwards. You want to make sure that you invest in the right things that are credible or that have other people who have gotten results from this. So you have to research and make sure you invest in the right things.
This mastermind club, when you learn, how many people at the same time?
This was 7 years ago, and I think I had close to 40 people at that time.
40 people, wow. Wow, great. If you restarted, I want to join.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you sharing this. That is awesome. I am sure the financially successful people you met shared their tips on how to manage money. Were there any tips that really surprised you? Can you share 2 shocking money management tips?
2 shocking money management tips. I think one of the things that I've learned, and also I've learned from very financially successful people, is when you make a lot of money, you can't just let someone else manage it all for you. You have to be thinking about it, looking at it on a consistent basis. There's one guy I know who every morning he opens up his accounts and sees where all of his money is at on all the accounts that he has and just looks at it to be aware of it. I think sometimes we make it, we put it away, and we just try to make more, as opposed to really managing the money we have as well. Or we haven't gained the skills to manage it, and so we give it to someone else. We trust someone else with all the money that we've generated. And I don't think there's anything wrong with having someone to support you in managing it. I think that's wise, but also pay attention to it. So that's one thing. Make sure you pay attention to all your debts, your credit cards, the money you have coming in. Like, be aware of it. It doesn't have to be every day, but every week, every month, look at your accounts to see, okay, where's my money? How is it doing? Am I losing money? Am I making money? To be aware of it. So that's one thing. The next thing is maybe not about managing money, but a concept around money that I learned early on from a mentor. 2 things. One, money comes to you when you're ready for it. I remember being very broke and poor when I was sleeping on my sister's couch for 1.5 years. I had no money. And I was learning from a mentor. I was working for free for 6 months from a mentor. And after, 4 or 5 months working with him, I asked him, I said, I am really struggling right now financially. I could really use some money in my life. And he said, money comes to you when you're ready for it. And I go, I feel really ready to make money. I feel really ready because I don't have any. And he just kept repeating this, money comes to you when you're ready for it. And it didn't make sense to me at the moment because I was struggling and I felt like I need some money. But about 1.5 years, 2 years later, it really resonated with me. It stuck with me because I started to finally make more money, and I would not have been ready for it 1 year prior because I didn't have the skills, I didn't have the mindset, I didn't have the education, the information to be able to manage it properly. So if money would have come to me, I probably would have spent it on the wrong things and still had no money. I had to learn, I had to educate, I had to become informed about money. So money comes to you when you're ready for it. And then the third thing would be you pay attention to what you pay for. A lot of people want things for free. However, when we get something for free, not all the times, but sometimes we don't pay attention to that information, to that coaching, that service, that thing that we got for free. We don't value it as much. I'm sure you're aware of this. But when we invest in something, when we invest in a book or a coaching or going to an event and learning something, we are more invested in the thing that we invest in. So, usually the more we pay for something, the more we pay attention to that thing. So money comes to you when you're ready for it, and you pay attention to what you pay for. So be mindful of where you're spending your money.
Wow, very, very good. Pay attention to your money. Money
Yes.
come when you are ready, and
Yeah.
pay attention to what you pay for.
Yes.
Oh, very good. Thank
Yes.
you. Luis, you interview successful people on how to become millionaire and how to quickly achieve financial freedom. My audience is very interested in these topics. For me, I think the first thing is become rich is breaking misconception about money. What was the most shocking misconception about money that people have that you learned from the financially successful people?
I think the biggest misconception about money is people think it's really hard to make. And most of my life growing up, I didn't understand money. And so I was afraid of it. I didn't know how to make it. I didn't know who had money. I didn't know who would ever give me any money. I didn't know how they would give me money. And so I was afraid of it. And I believed that it's extremely hard to make because I didn't understand how to make it myself. And I think it's challenging, and there's a big misconception. Until we break through something, we're always going to be limited on what we think we can do until it actually happens. So the challenge is a lot of people need to see something to happen in order to believe it. But we need to start believing things are possible and then start to seeing them later. But most of the time, we need to see something first. And if we can shift that to believing it is possible, even if there's no evidence, even if there's no prior history of experience of that happening, the more we can believe it and experience that feeling of what will that feel like, if we can step into it emotionally and physically of this is what it's going to feel like when this happens. Let me be in this state more frequently. Let me be in this frequency more intentionally. And when we're in that frequency of excitement, of joy, of celebration, of gratitude, we naturally and energetically start to attract and create opportunities for that thing that we're believing and seeing in our minds. And so when we start to shift our attitude and our energy towards gratitude, appreciation, service, generosity, I believe we attract quality people in our lives. I believe we attract quality opportunities in our lives that bring us more money or bring us more money-making opportunities. And so I think the misconception is it's really hard. And it is really hard if we have an attitude of this is challenging and hard and I don't know what to do. It will be hard. But when we start to say, I'm going to, one, develop as much skill sets as possible, and two, learn from people and surround myself with people who have made more money than me, or who are making money, or who are teaching about making money and have experience in that, and I educate myself, it becomes less scary. It becomes less overwhelming and less daunting to create money for ourselves. And then the third thing is really being as positive as possible about it, because it's hard to generate an income or money when we're anxious and scared all the time.
I am completely agree. The first misconception is money is hard to get. Thank you.
Was making money always hard for you, or was it easy for you growing up?
For me, it wasn't very easy until I am 40 years. And then I was 1 million debt. I almost tried to die because
Really?
I had a big debt when I was 40 because my bankrupt my company. And then I couldn't die myself. It's not easy to kill myself. And then I have to live for my mom. I started live with learning like you, exactly like you. I want to learn from successful people. And I started redo mindset and then try to do long business skill. And then 5 years later, I have a company in the 14 countries. I had a restaurant chain, more than 1,000 to 200 location with a franchise model. Almost 6,000 people work every day for doing a restaurant chain.
Wow. It's a chain in Europe. Is that right?
In Europe, in 14 countries. We started in France, UK, Germany, and then Italy, everywhere in Europe, plus Mexico and Dubai.
Wow. So what was the thing that you had to break within your mind or change within your mind to get you to that place from $1 million in debt to having, thousands of employees and restaurants all over the world?
Yeah, that is the first thing, mindset. Like what you said, money is very difficult to earn. This I get from my mom. My mom was very poor and she was working really hard, but she wasn't enough money for sending me high school. I couldn't go to high school. We have 6 brothers and sisters. She have to choose one boy for go to pushing maximum, and then everybody can't go to high school. That's why my mindset is money is hard to get. This mind I completely changed, and what successful people did for grow and for achieve. And then I adapted myself and focus my goal where I want to go. No, where I don't want to go. I focus where I want to go. And then 5 years later, my company is very successful. I recruit CEO because its company is too big. And then I had running this company with my CEO. And then my time, I give that for young Korean people. Yeah,
Wow.
this YouTube, why I do YouTube.
That's inspiring. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Some Koreans feel pressure and stressed about making money. What is a common method that financially successful people use to manage emotions about money?
One of the things I talk about is having a different relationship with money. And a lot of people in society, at least in America, I don't know what it's like in Korea, but in America, most people don't talk about money. Most people don't talk about how much they make. They don't talk about how much something costs, what they bought something for. They're a little shy. They're a little more reserved about speaking about money. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think when we are hiding what things cost, or we are afraid to speak about money like it's a friend. So imagine money as a good friend of yours, as a best friend. And if you imagine money as your best friend, you want to talk to your friend. You want to treat your friend well. You want to be generous with your friend. You want to say good things about your friend to other people. You want to invest in your friend. You want to learn and educate yourself about your friends. You want to be involved. But when you have a person that you don't do any of that with, they're not really a friend, right? If you're afraid to talk to them, if you don't open up to them, they're not a friend of yours. And therefore, why would that relationship develop? Why would it grow if you don't do those things? And so we need to think about money like a friend. We need to appreciate it. We need to say thank you. So every time I do a little experiment with myself, when I see money coming into my account, I do a little mental thing that I just say thank you. And I say to myself, where do you want to go? So when money comes in, I say, thank you. Where do you want to go? And this happens a lot throughout the day. I see payments coming in constantly in my email, and I just show a little bit of gratitude and appreciation. Say, thank you. Where do you want to go? And I ask money questions. It may sound weird. It may sound, a little weird for people, but I'm developing an inner relationship with that. And when I develop a positive relationship with money by being able to talk about it kindly, by being able to appreciate it, then it comes to me more frequently and more effortlessly.
Wow.
And it's less scary. Now, it doesn't mean I'm perfect with my conversations around money. I still have to overcome frustrations when I'm losing money. It never feels good, but I'm in the practice of that conversation, that relationship to money. And so think of money as like a good friend and have good conversations with it.
Wow, absolutely, I understand this. If you treat your money like your best friend, if you love, they love. Probability your friend love you, it's
Back,
much better. Yeah, and then when they go, they come with many another friend.
They bring friends back, yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's it, friendship. I loved using this idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
And it's like, money goes and tells other people, oh man, Lewis or Kelly, they treat us really well. They speak nice about us. They put us in places we want to be. They're generous with us. They pay for things for people. They do these things. They tell their other money friends to come and hang out with us, right? So it may sound a little weird. That's a little different way of thinking, but I think reimagining a new relationship with money internally and externally. How do we speak about it differently? How do we think about it differently? How do we feel about it differently? So that when money comes to us, we're not hiding it. We're not afraid of it. We're not speaking about it. We're more open. And obviously, you don't have to say everything about how much money you make all the time. There's some things you can keep confidential, but I think in general, having more open conversations is powerful.
Wow, that is my aha moment. Wow, thank you, Luis. I'm very happy to you share this mind with my audience. They will think about now the big shock, big change moment. We trade the money like friend. You provide creative content on your YouTube and podcast. What can people get from your book that is not on your social media? To whom do you recommend this book and why?
This book is for anyone that has a dream that they've struggled to achieve, that anyone that feels stuck in their life, emotionally, physically, mentally, and in relationships. And the thing that is in this book that you can't get on social media is all the exercises at the end of every chapter on how to face and overcome your fears, how to overcome self-doubt, and how to create a clear game plan for what you want in your life moving forward. So it's all packaged together in one book. Kelly, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm excited to see how it's been translated in Korean.
I will send you. Thank you very much, Luis. See you next time.
I'll see you. Thank you very much. See you.